But if I was like, you know what, I so want to fuck you, I could see fucking you like up to like 7 times.
Have you ever been that
like,
honest with someone?
Hell yeah, and it works. It works.
Welcome back to our podcast, guys. We are your hosts, Natasha
and Steph,
back with another episode like every week. Okay. And we have a special guest.
Okay,
Welcome,
Carlos.
Before we get to know the Carlos, we do want to thank you guys for all your support. You guys have been amazing. Like, we hit 2 years, and you guys been supporting us for 2 years, which is crazy. Shout out to our new followers, our new subscribers.
Yeah, if this is your first time listening, tune in, keep up.
Don't let me tell you that.
Hopefully this is not your last time listening.
Also, tell a friend. Tell your side piece, to the host, to the kids at this point.
Your situation.
Don't tell the kids. Don't tell the kids. But yeah, tell everybody you know. But yeah, thank you. We appreciate you guys so much.
So Carlos, state your name, social, all of your info.
Every day.
So my name is Carlos Jesus Martinez Dominguez. I even have 3 more to go along with that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, real?
Like a non-Cortez kind of thing.
Kind of. It's Carlos Jesus Martinez Dominguez, Feegz, Figaro, and Firo. And we were talking a moment ago about graffiti. Mm-hmm. Those are like my graffiti aliases.
Oh. Do you like write all of that, or do you just initial all of that?
No, I hardly ever write it all out. I do write for Carlos Jesus Martinez Dominguez. Sometimes I'll drop Feegz. There's a story attached to why I use such a long name.
I was going to ask you, do you introduce yourself like that to everyone? Or?
I do nowadays, kind of. But it started off with like me being pissed off at the term Latino, which we kind of already hit on before.
But expand.
Yeah,
for my people in the back that don't be listening.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a long conversation, and I'm happy that we're at a time where a lot more people are kind of analyzing it and asking those questions kind of make sense. But about 10 years ago, I was telling you this story. I feel like I'm telling the same story again.
And they haven't heard it. Don't worry about it.
They haven't heard it. I'm going through like a 10-year period of, I'm celebrating an anniversary. 10 years ago was the first time I ever showed art, like in a museum.
Congrats, because we just celebrated our 2nd year. It's not 10, but we feel you.
Nice. Dope, yo. So, what happened was about 10 years ago, I got into some weird conversation. I'm going to make it a fast story instead of a long, drawn-out story.
Right.
I got into a conversation with some curators, and they asked me, they called me Latino. They didn't ask me like, hey, are you Latino? Mm-hmm. And I normally don't respond to that term. I know what you're trying to say. It's just that I'm an asshole that needs to like make that a point of conversation,
Okay.
So I'm like, no, I'm not Latino. And they were pretty much like, oh, I'm sorry, are you like Indian or Arabic? And I'm like, nah, I'm Dominican and I'm Puerto Rican. And they were like, oh, well, explain this. You know what I'm saying? So I explained where I was coming from. And
that's nice that they wanted to learn.
Yeah, they did want to learn. And then, but the thing was, then, to make a long story short, I get invited to the next biennial for the museum, which is a big show they put on every 2 years. And they kept calling me Latino, even though they became interested in my work because of the subject matter in terms of me not calling myself Latino. Mm-hmm. So as a joke, I told them I was trying to be an asshole.
But did you find that disrespectful, though?
I kind
Even though you kind of explained yourself and you told them I don't.
I found it somewhat disrespectful. Right. And I find it disrespectful on a personal level. I find it disrespectful because I already told you I don't want to be identified that way.
Yes.
On a historical level, I find it disrespectful because we're in an age of decolonization, a new wave of decolonization. We're all Dominican. I'm half Puerto Rican. There's lots of movements in our cultures to reach out to our African side, to further ourselves away from white supremacy. That term is a very white supremacist term. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Do you like Hispanic or tampoco?
No, I don't. No, Should I tell the joke? I mean,
sure.
The thing between Hispanic and Latino or Latinx even, because to be honest with you, even though my solidarity is with people that have more than one identity, right? Like we're talking about queer people that wanted to change the X because of language. What disappoints me about that is it's coming out of a community that's normally very woke, right? Like steps ahead of us in terms of thinking about these things, and they chose a very, very limiting term to expand on. So Latinx a language, a European language, the language that happened to give birth to the other Romance language, Spanish, French, and commit genocide on a whole continent. You know what I'm saying? So, do we ask ourselves these questions? Why are we calling ourselves this? So we left Hispanic, which means pertaining to Spain, because we know that we're more than just the remnants of Spanish colonialism. But then we joined Latino, and to me it sounds like a weird kind of joke, like don't dare call me the product of Spanish rape. I am the product of an orgy of European rape. It's like you just want to be diverse in terms of your European background. But what is that to say? And I've had the pleasure of being around like really smart people. I won't name drop, but like I work in the arts, and I will name drop the Arlene Davilas of the world, the Ed Moraleses of the world, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. And for me, it's weird that, it's really coming out of academia and queer spaces, but we'll get rid of a word like Hispanic because we know it's limiting in terms of our indigenous and our African backgrounds.
So what word?
Me, Carlos.
Oh.
No, to be honest with you, Caribbean, though.
Okay.
Because Caribbean means that I'm not drawing this strict line between me and a Jamaican just because of language. And we can see the plátanos we eat instead of the language we speak. Or the phonetics we speak Spanish in, and the phonetics they speak English in, and see the similarities in terms of the beats in our music and all of that.
Oh, that's true.
So it's a distinction. I'm Caribbean. Even though I'm from North Carolina, to be honest.
I was going to ask you, where were you born? Like, were you born in DR or Puerto Rico?
No.
North Carolina, I guess.
My mom and my dad smashed in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And then he got, he enlisted in the military. So I was born in North Carolina on a military base.
Oh, nice.
And then my little sister was born in Hawaii. And my mom literally was like, I can't be with this boring Puerto Rican man anymore. And she bounced to New York and married a cab driver.
Shit.
As she should, all right? Live your best life.
She found happiness with cab driver. Listen.
She married a Dominican cab driver.
And that is a New York love story.
And he made me hate Dominicans for a long time.
What?
Ay,
but we fun.
Half of you? Why?
Because the example given, you know what I mean? Like, imagine this kid coming out of this fucking white world, you know what I mean? Like, military bases and all of that, and coming to a place where people are like, say hello, say fulana, and like, little things like that. I just thought everything was so loud, and then he was just so vulgar. And like
we're not all like that,
sweetie. I'm 44 years old. I've been living in Washington Heights since 1982.
Okay.
I know that.
I'm glad.
I'm trying to tell you my evolution of living in the neighborhood. I went through a period of time, unfortunately, where I kind of like denied those aspects. But trust me, I hated being Puerto Rican more than I did Dominican.
Did you like that you were born in North Carolina at least?
No.
I mean, I guess
really
everyone
identify with that either.
I guess everyone goes through a period of self-hate. If you haven't, then shout out to you. Use the real one. God's
what do you
favorite.
tell people that tell you you're not Dominican or Puerto Rican because you weren't born or raised in those? Because I've heard like a lot of Dominicans, they be like, oh, don't do it because your accent is like you speak great Spanish, but you don't have an accent. I'm like, I was born here. They're like, oh, but your family is Dominican. Oh yeah, you're not Dominican. You an American. I'm like, okay, cool.
I have a certain amount of understanding. I understand, like, sometimes people are being nasty when they pose that question or those kind of, those judgments. But to be honest with you, I kind of understand to a certain degree. Like, I look at myself and the upbringing that I had, or my little sister Camille, which was born in Washington Heights, raised in Washington Heights. I see the differences I have to her in terms of her Dominicanness, just growing up in Washington Heights. And my cousins that moved here from Dominican Republic, like, how dare I exclaim Dominicanness when I don't live in Dominican Republic and go through the problems that my cousins that are trying to get the fuck out, or find a job in a place where there's no jobs or anything like that. So yeah, I bite back when people try to cast those aspersions on me, but at the same time, I kind of understand we're living a different.
But then there are people that you don't say that you're Dominican, you're like, oh, American, whatever. And they'll be like, yeah, you're Dominican. Like, like, regardless, it's like, it's not a win. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know what to say. Yeah. Like, my family's Dominican.
You know what pisses me off the most? That happens to me a lot, even at 44 years old. So, really? For instance, yes, even at fucking 44 years old. Like, I'll go into a restaurant. Oh, dame un sándwich de bistec, por favor. Un steak sandwich. And I'm like... And they're speaking to me in English, and they're speaking worse English than the Spanish I just spoke them.
Right.
And I'm like, what the fuck? Speak to me in Spanish. Right. You know, like, I know it sounds weird, but I understand everything that you're telling me, and you can understand everything I'm telling you. So those are the things that kind of piss me off the most. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into you and what you do. Okay.
Yes.
Tell us about your club, because you have a club. What's the name of the club?
It's called the Sneakertalkclub.
Why the Sneaker Talk Club? Like, that's... And it's not about sneakers. I know that, right?
Yeah.
So make that make
sense.
Shout
out to JP Infante and the rest of you guys that, I guess, have woke conversations in this club, but I guess you can expand.
We try, and sometimes we do. And sometimes we just laugh about certain things or cry or whatever. But... Sneaker Talk Club was put together by a couple of us. The one that showed the most initiative was JP to put together the group. The Sneaker Talk Club is a club where we talk about everything but sneakers.
Right, I saw that. I'm like...
Right? And the joke comes from, there was an incident that happened more than a year ago where a writer accused a very well-known visual artist, a graphic artist, one of our most well-known graphic artists in Washington Heights, of rape. And unfortunately, this isn't, it wasn't the first time you hear of something like that, or even, like inappropriateness at the least, right, amongst men in our community. And we were just having the conversation. We were like, what do we fucking do? You know what I mean? Like, what do we do as educators, as artists, as writers? There's a mix of different professions and different... community presences in our group. And we're still meeting, still trying to find out what to do, to be honest. That it's taken place in terms of us being a support network for each other, right? Us talking about...
I think I saw a video you were expanding on, like, Puerto Ricans and Dominicans, like, who plays the most dominoes, how Puerto Ricans have, like, a whole, like, convention kind of thing. And I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's, I do an around-the-block walk.
Yes, that was what it was.
Yeah, for a couple of different institutions.
Wait, so that rape situation, you guys basically took it as, like, your own kind of... issue and made it like a group, like you guys came together.
We decided to put together a group. I mean, the history of gender issues and violence against women in the Dominican Republic and Dominican diaspora, even though it's not exclusive to our diaspora or our country, but unfortunately our country has one of the highest femicide rates, for instance, of all Spanish-speaking countries. So along with this current event situation that happens with Tony Peralta,
I'm like, wait, what?
Wait, you would think Trujillo and Mirabal sisters, that's like a femicide? One of the famous
Yeah, it was one of the most famous femicides, actually. Okay. Yeah. And I'm a troll that made fun of that once.
Oh my God.
I wrote on a piece. I wrote on a piece that, like the Mirabal sister story reminds me of Amber Alerts for white girls.
But like, why?
Because killed three privileged white within the context of Dominican Republic sisters, and the country is in an uproar. Slaughter 15,000 Haitians along the border, nobody's going to complain.
True.
So it's who you kill, it's who you hurt. When there's an Amber Alert for a white girl, all our phones will go off. Black little girls, brown little girls go missing in our country all the time, and they don't even make the news. Yeah. So it's a joke. I respect the Mirabal sisters' legacy. It's not to disrespect it. It's to talk about what we pay attention to and what we don't pay attention to. And sometimes the asshole gets that attention. It's like the squeaky wheel.
Yeah.
So I'll be that troll sometimes, But, just to get back real quick, we put together this group, and we're like, beyond like retweeting or resharing what women and queer folks have to say about these issues, what do we do? And we've started to hold different workshops. So, for instance, our next workshop in about a week from now on the 11th will be on relationships. And it's kind of
there?
Yeah?
Because it's not just men, right? This club is for anyone.
I was gonna ask why.
What?
No, this club is only for men, girl.
No way.
We're not invited. They're like, no woman.
I cannot believe
Look at me.
the sexism going on right now.
Well,
But why is it an all men's club? You don't think women go through? Right?
Of course.
Or they can...
One of the things that we do recognize, though, is that sometimes we're not allowed the same space to talk about the same experiences that we've been through, that women talk about a little more freely.
I would agree. I would agree.
Like,
but that doesn't mean you gotta shut us out. Like, we could.
He said y'all can tune in if y'all want, but y'all can't speak.
Well, for the next one, and I was about to say it's a kind of a Trojan horse to talk about non-monogamy and polyamory instead of just the relationships, because relationships is like, all right, we talk about a lot of the same stuff, but alternative modes to relationships is really what we're trying to talk about a little bit. We're doing 2 of them. We're still kind of formulating it, but we want to have one that's just with men.
Okay.
And then one that we open up to anybody that wants to be part of the conversation. And we want to give men sometimes, this is my idea, by the way, and what I mean, me and JP, conversations about polyamory are weird and can be very different amongst women than they can be amongst men, especially because you have a history of men just being polyamorous anyway. It's just called unethical polyamory. You know what I mean? I.e. cheating, which women do good nowadays too. You know what I'm saying? So maybe we could talk a little bit about that. But normally it's just for men so that we can confide in each other. And we're getting more to the point where maybe we can be brave enough to have some of these conversations in front of women also.
I mean, I wouldn't want to participate. I just want to be like a bug in that room kind of thing, like just to hear how the other half lives. Like,
I think it's a great thing though that it's just male, just because I feel like, do you think that male growing up, a lot of the parents are like, no llore, or like, you're a man, don't say this, don't say that,
don't express how you feel kind of thing.
Like they're pressured to hold everything in, and
Yeah, and the one that gave that to me the most was my mother. So and I've coined a term. Agents,
your mother, really?
Agents of the patriarchy. Agents of the patriarchy. Because y'all perpetuate fucking, the patriarchy also.
What?
My mother smacking me and going, los muchachos no se sientan así.
Oh.
That's violence. That's, you know what I mean? Like, that's like violence against whatever queerness I had that she beat out of me. You know what I'm saying?
I've heard it more from dads, because usually sons are like, the mothers, la mamá del niño, whatever. I don't know how to say it, but they're like, mothers love their sons, and then the girls love their dads kind of thing. So I've always thought that the dads usually be like, no llore, no haga esto, tú eres un hombre, esto y el otro. Never the mom, though.
No.
I mean, I've had a lot of uncles who are like, in their 60s, 70s, and they typically sit like that. So I always viewed it as like, like regular. Older senior citizens kind of sit like that, not like as a queer kind of thing. And they just sit like that, reading their newspaper, not like being
no,
gay.
I used to do that too.
Oh.
I would be like
comfortable, but you was just comfortable.
I was comfortable, and my mom, she was really scared that I was gay. And it's funny because my dad is a Trump-supporting ex-military dude, so you would think he would totally be that.
Yeah.
No, my dad cries like my dad cries to me all the time. He gives me kisses, and being part of this men's group, I'm around so many men sometimes that never got that.
That's what I'm saying.
Never ever got that. But me, it's like this weird paradox where he's an asshole that I can't really stand a lot because he has all these really vulgar patriarchal ideas. But if, whenever he hears that, if I say I love you, he cries. The dude is mega sensitive.
Are you, so you have a kid?
Yeah.
Are you like that with your children?
All the time.
Are you more
No. I've been going through the same thing. I looked at Tomorrow War this morning and I cried. A stupid action movie. It was
with Chris Pratt, I think.
Chris Pratt. But Chris Pratt goes into the future and his daughter's fighting the war. Oh, I'm totally spoiling.
Spoiler alert!
It's daughter, dad shit, and I'm just crying, and I'm thinking about global warming, and I'm thinking about not being here for my daughter when she's trying to run to get on a raft somewhere or some shit, and I started crying. Wow. Yeah, I'm very much like my dad.
That's pretty cool.
I just don't support Trump.
Good. Same. Okay. So let's get into the relationship stuff because, you know, you're an expert, right?
Right?
No, I'm not an expert.
Well, you have some experience. You know, I guess we are now part of this audience now, the 40-plus group. Shout out to y'all.
You have a question?
No, hit us.
Okay. So why do you think it's so hard for men to just be friends with a woman? Like, men that are in relationships or men that are single, just in general. Like, why is it so hard for them to just be friends with a woman? Let's say an attractive woman.
That's what I was going to say. You had to put that part in, because if you didn't put that part in...
They could be friends with ugly.
Of course.
That's
and, you know, like, I'll say attractive, because it really is objective what we find attractive.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
in the eye of the beholder.
So, you know, it's hard. It still is, even though I've gotten a lot better at it, because it really does come down to the idea of just respecting that person for being a person and not objectifying that person.
Yes.
And
Okay.
I still deal with that. I'm not going to lie, yo.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like...
Wait, you walk in a room and you're just like, which one would I rather?
Yeah, I was like, which one would I rather, yo? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I play that game on the train. I sit on the train. No, seriously. And part of me, like, exercising these demons, because I know this is very fucking toxic, what I'm saying right now.
I mean, but that is honest, like, how some men think. And it's fine to, like, act on who would you rather or not act on.
But I know
it.
women that feel like this, too. And you're going to hear me phrasing a lot, I fucked a person. And you're going to think, oh, is this dude bisexual? It's just that I phrase it that way because I think we both sexes and sexes that are in between also have a lot of the same thing. We just choose to call them masculine or feminine qualities.
Yeah.
But I know plenty of women that like have these same
I think it's just, like, of course, women do the same thing, but
Exactly.
I think it's just... when a man says it, it's probably because, like, most likely he will act on it. Women would just say it and get over it. Like, it's like, it was a little
women
game.
would play the same game. And, like, if nothing happens or, like, if this is their stop, they gotta go.
That's
it's
it.
fine.
But a
Like,
man will be like, so what's
nah,
up,
this is
boo?
my stop, but I'm gonna miss it.
You know, I started making logic out of it, and maybe it's just me con labia, right? Like, pero like, this is the way that I started making logic out of it maybe about 10 years ago or 15 years ago. I remember I'm old, right? Like, I started thinking about this, like, why do I always view women this way? Like, why can't I just be friends or whatever? And I started thinking about it. I was like, well, we could be friends after we fuck. Because, and what I mean by that is, like, you know...
How come not before?
Because there's all that tension.
Oh.
And can we really be friends?
Can you really be friends after?
Like...
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Won't there still be tension?
He's like,
Won't you be like,
I want to get to know your personality. And
It depends how that sex goes down. So, like,
you would just be like, nah, that was the first time. Maybe if we go again, like, or after the third try, like.
Well, then maybe we're friends that just fuck. But if we achieved being friends, we're friends.
Oh.
Right? But what...
I see what you did there.
But, you know, what I mean by that is, like, you know, like, it's almost like your head is foggy, like, you know, and it's totally like the person's fault. You should be big enough to look past that and control your shit. But let's say you can't, like, maybe after, I mean, come on, I don't know. I'm not going to ask y'all directly, but I know plenty of people just fuck somebody for, you know, a couple of times. And
It's
like,
been done.
all right, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, I mean, and now finding myself as a non-monogamous polyamorous man, I have sex with a lot of people I'm friends with. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it really is thinking about it in a different way, but...
Does that affect your marriage at all? Or is this like you know what the deal is kind of thing? This is an agreement.
She dates more people than I do. She's actually better at it than I am.
Oh, of course.
I have more booty
as
calls
women should
and
be.
But, you know, real quick, and we can get into that, but real quick, if I gaslighted you and lied to you to get you in bed, then we're not going to be friends.
Sure, because you lied.
I lied to you. I was like, yo, me and you
put in the work.
Me and you can probably rock for a while. You know, I see me and you, I see a future. But if I was like, you know what? I so want to fuck you. I could see fucking you like up to like 7 times.
Have you ever been that
like,
honest with someone?
Hell yeah, and it works. It works.
Wait, being honest, being dishonest works.
Honest.
No, honest. I've
Okay.
literally said I can see fucking you 3 to 7 times.
I agree.
Right,
being
right.
honest works better than being dishonest. Because you know what it is.
When you're honest like that, are you also honest that, like, oh, I'm married? And women just be like, I'm down.
I found a lot of women that actually kink it or fetishize it.
Okay.
Meaning, there's been a couple of times where I've been into women and I didn't want to just fuck them 3 to 7 times, meaning I wanted to rock for a little bit.
Okay.
And they're like, nah, I just wanted to see what this shit was about. You know, because they found it interesting. Oh, really? You married and you do this shit?
Like, I kind of got feelings for you, boo.
Know, like, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm not done, you know. That's happened a couple of times. But, you know, it's like curiosity. And I don't really knock it either because it is somewhat different. But a lot of people live that way. They just live on the low. There's a lot of closeted people,
Do you think marriages work better like that? Like they will last longer if they were like yours?
I honestly do. But you need to work on your jealousy. Y'all talked about that a lot. I've looked at y'all. Y'all talk about that.
Yeah.
But y'all talk about that as that's unnatural and fuck it, I'm gonna deal with it. Like, no.
Deal with what?
Wait, being jealous is not natural?
It is totally natural, but it's not natural to like embrace it.
I mean, Natasha
Not that I embrace it, but I embrace it because I already know. So I would rather, my partner already know what's up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm letting
I'm definitely not. I don't think I'm the jealous type because I'm like secure in who I am, what I have, what I bring to the table kind of thing. And it's like, if I ever get to that part, I'm like, maybe this is not for me. You know, because I don't want to be that kind of jealous person that kind of dims your light.
Okay, listen, I'm not that jealous person. I'm not the jealous person that, like, okay, if you're talking to a girl, I'm already upset. No, I want you to be friendly. I hate a guy that's not friendly. Like, it's rude to people. Especially if we're in a group and you're being mad, disrespectful, mad. I don't like that.
Yeah.
But also...
Or, like, who tries to kind of separate you from your friends. And it's like,
they're like, stay home, no salga. I hate that shit, too.
Yeah.
None of that. But I also, like, if I see you legit flirting on some extra shit, if you're really extra, I'm like, no, I'm going to be jealous. I'm a jealous person. Mm-hmm. I'm not the jealous person that will control you, but I'm a jealous person. Like, I can't fucking help it. Yeah. But I'm not going to dim your light tampoco. Like, shine bright.
I've had, like, partners who are jealous, and I'm looking at them like, yo, are you that ass? Like, I would not, like, this would never cross my mind. And the fact that you are telling me, like, you see me and fulanito on some I'm like, now I'm thinking about it, because I wasn't thinking about it before, but now you have that in my mind now. So I might be thinking about it now, like... So that's like where when they get jealous of me and someone else's relationship, friendship, or whatever it is, that's when I start picturing it. But before, I'm like, yo, I'm all about you. Like, this is all I got. You for me, I'm for you, kind of thing. But
has she ever gotten jealous? Your wife?
Oh no, we both get jealous at different things. One of the things that she got jealous at recently, which she doesn't really get jealous a lot. She's not a very jealous person in general. But then again, everybody gets jealous at something. I went through, and it comes to the petty question that's
coming up.
But I was going through sort of a breakup, if you want to call it a breakup, with somebody that I was chilling with for more than a year. And she's Dominican, right? My wife is African American, so there's already that cultural thing.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, like, do you want one of your women? Even though she's never said that. Mm-hmm. She's never ever said that, and I don't feel like she's been jealous in that way. But I was kind of. My wife was surprised and a little jealous about how hurt I was over the breakup. She was like, I didn't know, because I really couldn't stop thinking about the situation that was going on.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you had something with someone and you
for a year
you felt for them.
Yeah.
A little bit. Okay.
I felt for them. I felt something for them, yeah.
And you were married at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it wasn't
and they
just
know
physical.
Each other. They know each other.
Oh, they're friends or just know each other?
You can say they're very friendly acquaintances. Okay. I mean, it's not like they chill on their own, but we've gone to the beach together, all of us, and
so
like that.
When that breakup happened, how do you deal with that situation? Like, do you stay with your wife at home? Like, do you have your own apartment on the side? Like, how do you deal with a breakup and have a marriage?
I think that's 2 questions in one. You're asking logistically, how does it work? Mm-hmm. Are you asking when I fuck? Where do they go? Is that what you're at? Right?
No, we know. So you would go to her like that. It sounds like you would go to her place, no?
Or a hotel.
I would go to her place sometimes.
Or a hostel, whatever.
She would come over?
Sometimes she would come to my place.
Okay.
I have like a studio. I have a big apartment where I have an art studio as a room. That's kind of like my own arcade, my little like man cave. Mm-hmm. And every once in a blue moon, she spend the night.
Okay.
Get up in the morning, have coffee with my wife, and play with my child.
Okay. So really open mind kind of situation.
And your wife was...
No judgment here.
Was she doing the same thing? Did she have a partner at the time?
We've had partners at different times, but she's had a partner before that has done similar stuff, like stayed over. Did she stay over in my room?
Did she fall for anyone?
No, she's a lot more.
You would think women would fall more because they're more emotional.
I think men fall for.
She's a lot more even keeled than I am. She's a lot more kind of tranquila.
You would think men are more just like physical, like we hear one and done kind of thing.
So she's more with go with the flow. Even with their other partners, like with her.
And even with her partners, even though they do, it's weird too, because they do more romantic stuff or more datey stuff. Like they'll go to see a play or, go to...
Even though they know
all of the things you wouldn't do.
Oh yeah, they know of me. And I don't do those things really. Like I go to Trader Joe's. If I bring you to Trader Joe's with me, I like you.
It's
lit. You know what I mean? Like I like you.
I tell Natasha all the time, like... So, like, when you go on dating apps and you meet new people or you're trying to link and you're like, damn, I have all these errands to run, but I also want to see them. Like, you just bring them on your errand and it's like a date. I tell her all the time, she's like, no, that's not a date. I'm like, yo, if you can come to Target with me and you tell me you want to buy the whole Target.
I mean, that's not the first date. We were talking about first dates.
Yeah, we were talking about first dates.
Yeah, I'm saying that's not a first date. I don't want to go do laundry with you. I don't even know you. Why am I looking at your laundry?
No, maybe not the first date, but like on the third, that's lit.
Yeah, Yeah, well, if I'm comfortable enough with you.
I went on a first date the other day, and I took the first date to do a bunch of stuff I had to do. But she liked art, and she met Miguel Luciano. She went to the back rooms of El Museo del Barrio, where we keep the storage. Like, meaning, I had to do work, but, like, she was loving it. She was like, oh, my God, this is so cool.
She got the inside scoop.
Like, and then I hit that. Yeah, no, I'm just joking.
Yeah, so my question earlier was, like, how do you handle like a breakup when you're in a marriage? Like, how do you handle that? I just don't.
And that's the thing. I think it was surprising to my wife because I think she's thinking that too to a certain degree. Like, being poly is normal to us, but I think she was so surprised that I was so hung up. It felt like going back when I was monogamous and having a breakup. And being like depressed or wanting to know all the answers. Like, okay, it's over, but this don't make sense. Mm-hmm. This don't make sense. Tell me, like why, or whatever. You were going to ask me a question about pettiness.
So, should I was gonna because he's ready. He's like, no,
because it leads into that. Into that. So unless you want to ask a different question about that breakup.
Well, the question that we had was,
what's the pettiest?
No. Would you ever take something back from an ex that you gave her
as in a gift?
So this is the point. She insisted on buying a print. She was interested in a print of mine. Mm-hmm. I was like, yo, I'll give you the print. I appreciate her because she was like, no, this is your work. I want to pay you. The print cost $1,000, but I was like, no, I'll give it to you for $400. She was like, fine, I'm going to give you $400. And I sold it to her for $400. So she has this print. Uh-huh. When all this shit happens, now, to be honest with you, like, I didn't like the way she did it. She didn't communicate with me. She didn't communicate with me because I'm polyamorous. Okay. Because she thought I didn't care.
But don't you have to communicate if you're
Exactly. Thank you very fucking much. Exactly. And don't dismiss me thinking just because I'm married, I don't have fucking feelings.
You know what it was when you signed up, boo, okay?
So let me rephrase this, right? Me and her seeing each other for about a year. COVID hits. Right? Oof. Then she lives like a couple of blocks away from me. So we're seeing each other. We're in each other's bubble. Then, when things start to get a little more lax, probably about like last October or so or something like that, but it's still we're still in some raw period.
Yeah.
She starts having a lot of visitors. Oh, my cousin's coming from DR. Then she's going to Cali. Then she's coming back here.
She's busy all of a sudden.
All of a sudden busy. And she's calling me, yo, quiero singar. And I'm like, no. Like,
not busy me.
I'm like, yo, you're mega busy, yo. And I'm paranoid, right? I'm mega paranoid. So a couple of weeks go by, like 3 weeks, maybe a month. And then I miss her. I'm not going to lie. I miss her. She lives a couple of blocks away. I'm talking to her every couple of days. And I'm like, coño, yo quiero singar también. And I call her and I'm like, yo, B, what's up? We doing this? And she's like, yeah, blah, blah. And I ask her a couple of questions because I'm, I'm neurotic. Mm-hmm. And communication is important. I'm like, yo, what's up?
Exactly.
I'm like, we haven't had sex in a month. Are things the same? You know, blah, blah. And she's like, no, things aren't the same. And I'm like, what happened? Right? Like,
what I do?
But anyway, the point was I got real mad because of how she handled shit. I'm going to cut this story short. And I was like, I want my fucking print back. I'll give you your $400 back. I don't want you to have that print. Now, listen, if I could brag for a second.
Go ahead.
That print, there's only 13 of them. All right? One of them is owned by the director of the fucking Smithsonian Latino Center. Another one is like... Yo, it's in good collections. Okay. And here's this girl that lives on 186th Street that's not gonna show it to anybody.
that got it for a discount on top of that.
More than half discount. So I'm like, I'll give you back your $400. That piece means a lot to me. Mm-hmm. I don't want you to have that piece because you shitted on me. You know what I mean? Like, you shitted on me.
So
is that petty? Like, is that petty? I was gonna give her the money back.
It is petty.
I was gonna pay her for it. I was gonna give her the money back.
Oh, the $400?
No, it's not petty. It's not petty then. Yeah, petty would have been if you would have pulled up to her crib like, give me my bag. I don't care about nothing. Give me my bag. No $400 bag. Nothing. And just dib. Like, that would have been petty.
Because I think as a person that's in that relationship, you know, like the marriage that you're in, I feel like you need to understand that like not everyone knows how to like handle that. You know what I mean? But and obviously communication is key.
Yeah.
But it's tough. Okay.
I'm glad there are marriages that are like that still communicate, of course. That maybe go to therapy. Not saying that you guys have, but if you do, like, if it doesn't work and you guys have to go to therapy, like, I'm glad that we live in a stage where you can be open-minded enough to do that. And, yeah.
There are people that are going to try to, you know, join, like, ladies. But it's, like, it's tough after some time. They probably want, like, the actual husband and stuff. So it's just the communication is also tough.
Yep, definitely.
But that's a pretty cool marriage. I'm not gonna lie. For her, shout out to your wife. That's number one.
I like
because women are more like
and I like that it goes both ways. Because when we went on live, we had someone who was dating someone that they've been with through high school, and it was like they could be polyamorous, but she couldn't.
He's a hotep then.
So
that's some hotep shit, yo.
So
and
the
that's
fact that
traditional.
So the fact that it goes both ways, it's refreshing and it's a breath of fresh air. And if it works for you guys, then that's awesome.
Yeah.
I saw this this video at 8 at the Table. Shouts to them. Where this guy says that like because his girl lets him have threesomes, he wouldn't mind if she asked him to have a threesome with two guys. Mm-hmm. Would you be okay with that? Would you agree? Like,
I did that.
You did that?
Yeah.
And
did it ruin the relationship or no?
No.
It made it stronger, if anything?
Yeah.
Okay, because a lot of people were judging them. I was like, no, that's not a thing that women even fetish. Like, I think a lot of people think that women don't have those kind of
fetishes or,
it's not even,
or like
I don't think
fantasies.
It's
y'all like what? I mean, look. I mean, it's man. Look, I don't understand this shit. Like, you know.
Talk your shit.
If you're a straight woman, I'm assuming you like dick. I mean, and you know, most of the time you like penis. If you're straight, if you're traditionally a straight,
we're not for the kids, okay?
Damn, not on this episode.
Is it okay to curse?
No, yeah.
Then if you like dick, if dick is the main thing you like, wouldn't 2 be better than 1? Wouldn't 3 be better than 1? We're not talking about love. We're not talking about, and even though, to be honest with you, polyamory means love. We're not necessarily talking about polysexual. And that's the thing people automatically jump to, which is funny and a little offensive.
Amory is like love and poly is multiple. Amoroso. So it does mean multiple loves. You're right. If you break it down, yes.
Polyamor is more than one loves. And it took us a long time to get there because at first we actually had rules where you can't love anybody else because that's dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But that's also stupid the more and more you like get used to the understanding of compersion. You guys know compersion?
No. Enlighten us.
So compersion is like the opposite of jealousy. Compersion is when I'm being silly now, just to be silly, but your boyfriend comes home and he's like, I had the greatest time ever, bro. Like, you don't understand Natasha.
Yes.
You don't understand, Natasha. I had the best date with this chick. This chick was dope, yo. Like, we had such a good time. We went to a museum. We did this. We did that. And then
that's not what you about to do. Okay, that's not.
And then we fucked, yo.
That's not.
And that shit was
Natasha
so
like, yo,
dope.
I'm out.
instead of you being jealous, you're actually happy for him because you love him that much. And you're secure enough to know that he's not leaving you, because that's how me and my wife feel about each other. As dope as that day was.
Okay, so not only are they having these things with other people and you're having something with another woman, you guys come home and like discuss it, like your experiences and stuff?
If we're not talking about it, why are we married? Why are we together? Why are we best friends?
Oh, that's true. I agree.
No, that's a lot.
If communication
is a lot, but we found some shit that works.
Exactly.
Oh.
It is a lot. Amen.
So compersion is feeling happiness for that instead of jealousy.
Okay.
And that's some shit. That's love if you think about it. That's some shit that would eat you up.
Because someone else's happiness makes you happy.
Makes you happy.
For those that want a relationship like that, right? Like a marriage like that or whatever. How did you start, or how did she start that conversation? Like, what did you say? You was like,
extremely
I want to see other people.
Yeah, like if anything, I wouldn't start off like that. I would probably start exclusive. If we're like 2-3 years in, I'm like, all right, ya hay confianza. Like now,
no, but how do you tell your partner that? Like, yo quiero estar con otras mujeres. I want to be with other women, or I want to be with other.
What's the story? Do you want the story? I'll try to make it a quick
I'm
one.
trying to tell you.
Long story short, how is it?
For those that want.
Long story short, look, we cheated on each other. I was raised to fucking cheat. My mom, when she found out that I did like girls,
this one left quick. I didn't know that was the story.
You wanted the story.
I cheated all the fucking time. After the 7th grade, Carlos was always somewhat popular. Not that I could bag any chick, but there was always some chick I could bag. You know what I mean? Like, I was never that dude without a chick to bag. You know what I'm saying? Some of us, unfortunately, go through that.
Right.
Now, I've always been a fucking cheat. Okay. And my mom would love that shit because that mean I wasn't gay. You know what I mean? Like, hi, Carlito!
Yeah, another one!
My mom has 3 master's degrees, by the way. And still, you know what I mean?
Oh, nice.
Still on some, like, toxic shit somewhat. Anyway, so the point is, look, we cheat on each other. I cheat on her. She feeling neglected, right? She's feeling like, fuck you. She doesn't want to get away from me. I find out she's cheating on me. She found some Dominican dude, Immortal Flame, I remember. Some fucking rapper. Well, anyway, I still make fun of it till today. Immortal Flame. Anyway, so the point is, I found out she's cheating on me. We blow up at each other. I get jealous. We sit down and we have a conversation. And the conversation is ranging from, why do people cheat? Can you cheat on somebody and still love them? Is that cliche that if you cheated on me, you don't love me? Is that really true?
Wow, we really had these conversations.
It's a fucking cliche. Yes, you can cheat on somebody you love. At least that's what we believe. Okay? And we talked about this for a while. And the thing was, both of us theoretically, believed in non-monogamy, believed in polyamory. It's just that in practice, it's totally different because you need to deal with that jealousy. Yeah. You need to deal with the actuality. So what happened was we were like, you know what? We're going to try this. We don't want to break up. Mm-hmm. We do love each other.
So the love was stronger than...
The love was stronger than the hate we were feeling. We tried it, but then what happened was we started seeing each other and not talking about it. And that was almost just as bad. We were seeing each other and acting as if we were cheating on each other. And then she did some of the most cliche, stereotypical shit that she could do, but it saved our relationship. And what I mean by that is a lot of the times that dudes are into some kinky shit or trying to spice up the relationship. Yo, go get your friend.
They do it wrong.
Go get Natasha. What's up? I want to like meet you, Natasha. You know what I mean? Like, you know, that's always like the go-to. Mm-hmm. Why? Because dudes want to fuck and they don't want you to have another dick. Because that's threatening. But you know what? Another pussy? I'm down with that shit. So she started reaching out, like she started like getting us dates, like Tinder dates and stuff. And we started going out on dates with chicks, really cool, open-minded chicks. Yeah, threesome dates.
Oh,
and
nice.
then we would end up...
I've heard of those.
Yeah, we would go out on dates. And little by little, we started more and more. And then I started asking myself that same question. Wait a second, if she's willing to do this for me, and I know that she likes penis way more than pussy.
Right.
Like,
and she should.
She's bisexual, but to be honest with you, it's tilted.
More on the male side.
Way more to male. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, you know, like women are appetizers or, you know, like friends. You know what I mean? Like, we can kiss. It's cool. Yeah. But like, you know, like that's some, you know, fucking side dish. So I was thinking like, you know, if she's willing to do this for me, because what she was doing, it wasn't all about the kink. Even though there was kink involved, it was about doing things together. It was about experiencing things together. And I asked her, because she's much more social than I am, I was like, yo, why don't you look for a couple? Like, I'd be, I don't know what I'd be comfortable with, but like, I'm down
to try. I'm willing to try.
You're talking like swinging?
Swinging is a word you can put for it. Yes.
Okay.
You don't like labels, okay?
Right.
No labels.
Let's not label it then. Let's not label it.
But yeah, and we went out with this couple, and we liked the couple, and we ended up having a really good night with them. Actually, they invited some other couple that we ended up, like 3 couples hanging out in one night.
Oh, nice.
Another show for what we did that night. But the point is, we had a lot of fun. They invited us to this club, like a swingers club, you could call it.
Like orgy. We don't put labels.
It's kind of like an orgy. It is an orgy, but the thing is, it's a totally like consensual orgy, meaning like you go there and this one floor of party, meaning like event, music, food, blah, blah.
But it's not like...
Second floor is the orgy.
But you have to get like invited to those, you can't just like pull up to it.
Men can't go alone. You have to go in couples. So like, let's say I was there with my wife, like even if we were in the party, I couldn't go upstairs to where the sex was being had without my wife.
Yeah, okay.
But women can go up there?
Yes, alone.
Okay.
Because women...
The sexism.
Because even though women do rape in society, it's just not the same numbers. You know what I mean?
I cannot. I can't keep up with this episode. Nah, you're the best.
But no, just to finish it off, like, we started going out to this club, and then that got gross to us after a little while because, like you start seeing the same people and you start thinking about things like this and whatever. And then, like, it's 12 years later that we're together. It's been a long time. She's in her mid-30s. We kind of reverted to just dating different people. You know what I mean? And we come home and we talk about it with each other. You know what I mean? Like...
But what's the thing I don't understand is like what is it about like dating other people?
I have no questions. I get it.
I don't get it because I feel like I can like once I find that person, because that's how I find it. But once I find that person, I feel like it'll be the right person, that traditional weird shit. No, but like Natasha, I'm gonna die with them.
It's like you said, like, there's too many people in this world.
I understand that, but once I get married, there's not too many people in this world. This is it. You know what I mean?
Then never.
That's probably my mindset right now.
Anymore.
But I know, but like. I don't know. I've heard stories where there are couples that can literally, they still have butterflies till this day. Well, I don't know what they've been through. I don't know if they've been doing this on the low too.
Technically,
like they have.
Technically, being monogamous is like an unnatural form of living. We just like because society deems it as like the majority. Maybe,
I understand
maybe
that,
population got so out of hand.
Like looking for more than what your partner is giving you, or like what they.
Maybe it's what you need. Like for example,
that's what I'm asking.
I'm definitely leaning towards Stephany now. Then
no, but maybe like
you got the joke. You got the joke.
We won. Would you rather? Would you rather? I didn't get it.
It's more ethical. We'd be cheating on her boyfriend.
I completely look how she didn't get it.
You didn't get it. You got it right away.
I never get it though. I mean that innocent. Yeah, no, but like I was saying, damn, what was I saying? I lost my
You were saying I was asking why like look more than what's in the marriage, like. Why do you have to look to other
like, for example, he doesn't do the whole, like, romantic kind of thing. She has someone who does that for her.
Okay.
So, like, basically the needs that you don't get from one partner, you can get from the other.
Okay.
Or the fact that she likes to peg dudes up the butt, and I don't like it up my butt. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's all kinds of things.
I agree.
There's all kinds of things. It's real popular nowadays.
Yeah, one of our listeners was asking that.
That was one of our first, like, what is it, put yourself in my shoes. Because he liked that, but he didn't know how to tell his partner who he's been with. They celebrated, like, 2 years together, by the way. I feel like we are part of that relationship, so shout outs to them. He know who he is. But he didn't know how to approach it or tell her about it so that they can still be together and he can have his needs met. So
she's talked to me about that. She's talked to me about men that got crazy, like that were really relieved and felt more open around her because they talked about that, and she was like, "Hell yeah, fuck you," and that they have gone through whatever time they've been living or dealing with their sexuality, hiding that from partners.
Yeah.
So imagine, we talk about all this shame around sexuality and all this stuff, like. there's dudes out there, you know what I mean, that like certain things.
Yeah.
I like getting my ass eaten. It's just that I'm too small. I just can't have things in my ass. You know what I mean? Like, just.
I got you. I feel like there's a lot of people that have. It's not. I don't even consider it fetishes. It's just things that you're into sexually. I think. I don't know.
Yeah, but getting pegged in our community,
we have
the
like
Dominican community. They go, I just like getting pegged. I like a big strap on and getting
it's hard.
plowed,
it's hard to open up that conversation.
You know,
It's a girl doing it, so it's safe. It's okay.
Damn, we haven't even gotten to our. We have like 7 more minutes left.
Go ahead.
Long story short, let's do our fun facts.
No, this is a great episode.
Yeah. First fun fact. These are from Uber Facts, by the way. Y'all know we love them. So, did you know that the average American couple has sex for 69 minutes per week?
You see what I'm saying?
69 minutes?
Why
minutes
per
week for 7 days. So
why 69 out of all the numbers?
Both blowing each other. They're like, what the fuck, yo, just suck.
So so like 9.85 minutes per day if it's every day, or 17.25 minutes every other day. So I guess like 4 days a week.
Wow.
Or if it's 3 days a week, then it's like 23 minutes every day for 3 days.
That's really like, who does this math and who keeps in like.
I did that math because I was curious.
Wait a second. You timed yourself? Or like...
No, like we got questions.
No, I took the 69 minutes and I divided it like per every other day or per 3 days.
You timed yourself.
So last fun fact, people who love grilled cheese sandwiches tend to have more sex and are more likely to donate to charity, and they're more likely to travel as well.
And this is a fun fact.
Yeah. So people who
cheese sandwiches.
So people who eat, that's crazy because I used to have that for breakfast.
I love grilled cheese sandwiches.
All right, I got a fun fact. People that are openly polyamorous and non-monogamous deal with less sexually transmitted diseases because they're actually getting tested more often and they're actually talking to their partners about it because
communication.
They're already pro-sexual.
Oh, I would agree then. When
I kind of agree with that. Yeah.
When you come with those arguments.
No, it's a fact.
Oh,
all right or not. All right. Okay.
You
don't have to agree with it. I'm just letting you know. Damn.
Do you want to talk about one of our trending topics, like Bill Cosby being released after all those like rape allegations kind of thing?
Feel about that?
No, wait, not that.
How I feel about that?
Not that. No, you don't have to say about that. How do you feel about, I guess, rape in the 2nd degree and the 3rd degree being like having statute of limitations?
So just not Bill Cosby, just like
just like rape in general.
The situation itself.
I think 2nd degree you can get like 5 to 20 years, and 3rd degree you get like 5 to 10.
Okay.
So
I guess to prosecute.
Bill Cosby was mostly 2nd or 3rd because he was drugging women. Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I got drugged once by a woman. It's funny because I'm
like
trying to make
roofied kind of thing.
Yo, B, she gave me fucking
Wait, what?
She gave me alcohol and I got raped, yo. I got raped by Ida. Yeah, it's so funny too because it's not funny. Rape isn't a funny conversation. But the thing was, since she like spoke like this and Ida, all my friends would make fun of me.
Was that her name?
And she
or?
said that I got raped. They said that I got raped by a man.
Oh my God.
Nah, Ida was just this really kind of androgynous, like Puerto Rican chick from the Lower East Side, and she had like a thing for me. But she had like fake boobs, and she was like a little bit taller than me. And because I'm a pretty small man, like I'm average height for the American.
I guess,
man, I'm 5'9", but still I'm pretty thin and shit,
Mm-hmm.
And she was like an inch taller than me. I was always a little like intimidated by her because men that are shorter than women like feel funny or whatever. Nah, man, it's true.
I agree. I mean,
that's why I'm laughing.
Even for women themselves, like it's just weird to.
I'm 5'8", which is not common, and I feel like men who are like 5 feet or like 5'6", they'll just look at me like this and be like, "Yo."
Exactly. But it gets
weird.
on your nerves at the same time, doesn't it?
But I'm used to it at this point. Like I'm taller than most of my brothers, kind of thing, and I'm the only girl. I have 5 brothers.
But dating
so
is different. It's like
dating is different. But I wouldn't date someone who's shorter than me because I like heels. So I'm not gonna be like 6 feet,
like taller and then way.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
So she used to always kick it to me. Matter of fact, she was one of these chicks. It's normally white chicks when I'm like on my little soapbox talking about history or.
So you've met her more than once.
I met her more than once. She was the cousin of my ex roommate's girlfriend.
Okay.
So they used to come over a lot, and she's just, Carlos.
Tan
Oh my goodness.
Carlos is like this.
She'd be like, yo, what's up, Carlos? And I'd be like, no, got a girlfriend. No, got this. No, got that. No, got this.
So long story short, she ruled for you because you kept saying no kind of thing?
Yo, long story short, we went out to a club. Every time I turned around, she was like, I got a drink for you.
Oh.
Drink. You a pussy, bro. Drink.
Natasha does that.
Like, drink. What's wrong with you? Drink. Yo,
I don't roofie people. When she said Natasha does that, that's not what she meant.
No, no. She
I am the type of person that makes you drink. Yeah.
But in front of your face.
Then I woke up in a cab with her stuffing her finger down my throat.
So you could throw up.
She gave me a fucking
Oh.
She put a pill down my fucking mouth. She gave me an ecstasy.
I was gonna be like, I did that too, but I didn't do that.
Which ecstasy doesn't necessarily make you horny. It just makes you sensitive to touch, which are two different things. But the point was, then I wake up again, fucking her. No, I'm not fucking her. I mean, my dick was hard. But you know that doesn't mean anything, though. Like,
it's the morning. It's the morning.
What do you mean?
Like that.
You know, women, it's been recorded that women have some women, not all women, but it's been recorded that women have very intense orgasms getting raped. It's not because they're liking it. It's because of the intensity of the moment. It's because of, like, different fucking shit going on.
Okay.
Not because, oh my God, this shit is fucking great. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, like, I didn't give any fucking consent for her to be fucking me. I didn't give any consent for her to be fucking me without a condom.
But how long ago was this? Because if it's like 5 to 20 years?
This is like 20 years ago.
Damn.
And you weren't leading her on in any way?
Hell no.
So like, she didn't get any hints of, like, he wants this.
No.
Which is like, regardless, even if you got the hints, you don't do that. Don't put no pills.
Like, you know how murder, arson, and kidnapping, at least in New York, there's not a statute of limitations. Would you want rape to not have one? In your case, so that you can be able to, like,
I totally acknowledge that it probably didn't hit me the same way that it hits other people in different situations. Mm-hmm. I was raised to say that was something good to happen to me. That was, you know, that I'm supposed to be wanting sex. Oh. I'm the man. I'm doing the penetration, especially.
There are a lot of people who believe, like, men can't get raped, which is
that's true.
So bizarre.
And that's what I'm trying to say, but I almost understand it in terms of being raised, like, that didn't cause me trauma where I woke up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat or I cry constantly. It's something that I say as kind of a joke, but there's a serious part to it that is talking about consent and talking about the fact that, no, you know what? Sometimes dudes do get raped.
Yeah.
You know, it just
by women, not only because they think
by men.
Yeah, they think that it's only by men, but by women too.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I don't mean to bring that up as a joke. It's just that when I think about the Bill Cosby thing, I don't know. I don't really have an opinion. You know what I mean?
I just think there shouldn't be a statute of limitations on rape because sometimes it takes, like, for example, you said it happened 20 years ago and you're talking about it now. What if you've never talked about it before or you talked about it the next day? Like, it's just levels to this.
Yeah.
Some people just are open about it, same day kind of thing. Some people, it takes time for them to come out of their shell.
Some people don't even realize that it's rape because, again, like, your family, well, the way you were raised is like, so
exactly.
That's not rape.
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
For me, I don't think rape should have a statute of limitations. It should go hand in hand with, like, murder, arson, kidnapping, because you still have to live with that kind of torture every day. Like, some people don't get over that. Some people commit suicide. Some people don't go to therapy.
Experience.
No, you're right. I continued having sex with her. Because I was
after
like,
the fact, but knowingly, you continue.
Yeah, knowingly. Okay. Because I was like, all right, fucking.
They told you that it was okay and it was right.
It happened, and she comes over often, so whatever.
Till this day?
No.
Oh.
No. I meant like
back
right
then. Okay,
20 years ago,
so
Natasha.
I acknowledge that a lot of that trauma wasn't present in terms of that experience, but in terms of, like, not giving consent for some shit that happens, yeah, you know what I mean. Okay. That's all I meant by that.
This was such a great episode.
You need to come back because you talk your shit for real.
Yeah, we should have booked 2 hours.
I told you I talk too much.
We love that.
How was your first experience on a podcast, by the way?
It was good. I like y'all. I would love to come back if maybe you wanted to focus me a little bit better on a specific subject.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. I talk for a living. I'm an educator, and I'm not an educator in the DOE where I need to teach math. I'm an educator at museums where I can talk pretty much
anything. Okay.
Not anything, but a lot of the shit I love. You know what I mean? So,
which is what we want. That's why we named it Talk Your Shit. Like, we don't want to focus on anything specific. Yeah. Like, if anybody wanted even to come here and talk about sports, we were down. Like, I don't know about sports. She does.
Shout out to the Suns who have the Western Conference Finals beat, all right?
See?
Maybe the Bucks might win this one on the Eastern, and I want to see that. No, I want the Suns to win overall, but I want the Suns and the Hawks to go at it because they're both young teams. You know, Trae Young is 22. Devin Booker is 24.
I'm definitely fucking her if I can, yo. She's the one I want, yo.
No, can we be...
I'm sorry.
I mean, he's like, can we be friends without that?
Yes.
So
no,
but it'll be easier if we fuck. No, I'm kidding. It's because of the episode.
Yo, this one left quick.
Yo, so stay tuned.
That conversation was Chinese to me. Like I said, but I am down to sit here and listen to y'all go off. Like, I don't no problem. I'll listen about sports, but anybody could come on. That's why we chose Talk Your Shit, because, like, everybody could talk about anything. Whatever comes to mind, let's do it. We don't give a shit.
So, thank you so much for listening, guys. Shout out to y'all for celebrating 2 years with us. If you're a new listener, hi, hey y'all. Hopefully this is not your last episode, and hopefully we talked about topics that you've never heard of, that are like taboo kind of thing, and people are too scared to talk about.
And I know that Carlos has more to say, so we're definitely gonna have him back.
Yeah, we're gonna have him back. We just met, by the way. This is the first time
I can't tell what we did. Shout out to this.
Make sure you follow us at Talk Your Shit Pod on Instagram, on Twitter, our personal accounts at StephanyMX3.
Barkasel.
Do you have any...
Feegz173, or you can just Google my name, Carlos Jesus Martinez Dominguez.
Okay, and we're also going to leave it in the
Shout out to our producer who couldn't be here today, Gabriel. We love you. Natasha's brother.
Sneakertalkclub, too.
Yes. Follow Sneaker Talk Club. You know, women can get in, kind of but tune in, all right? If you're a guy, tune in. I'm really hurt. Follow Gabriel's, videography pages at Learn Filmmaking, at Producer Ghana, at Ghana Pictures, at Elephant Network. Oh, wow, I remembered all four of them. I'm really proud.
Shout out to Gabriel.
Yeah. And remember that we talk our shit now.
So you can talk your shit later. Bye.
Bye.